Diabetes and weight management is a huge topic and is something that's really important to address. There are three main weight concerns that I hear a lot of people vocalize and are things that I like to consider myths because exercise is a great solution for many of these. The three main ones are insulin causing fat storage, exercising causing low blood sugar, which isn't a myth, it's very true, but people view it as they drop low, they have to increase calories, and therefore they're never going to lose weight. And then all carbs cause weight gain. Before jumping into that, though, we need to realize the benefits of exercise for both weight and just overall well being. Regular exercise promotes longevity in type 1 diabetes. So, it has been shown that diabetes can shorten your life by 10 years, and if you exercise on a regular basis, you can basically get those 10 years back, and it's like not even having the disease. How awesome is that? And for all people with diabetes, frequent exercise can enhance insulin action. So, one bout of mild to moderate exercise, so simply just going on a walk, can bring blood sugars down for up to 72 hours afterwards. Then you have resistance training, which builds muscle mass, which will generally result in increased resting blood glucose uptake and better glycemic control. The muscle mass, if you have more muscle mass, it is going to need your glucose. Therefore, your glucose will not be sitting in your bloodstream. That's great. And as I've addressed before in other presentations, other documents, resistance training and aerobic in the same workout is basically the best thing you can do and is the best way to lower insulin needs, both for insulin dependent and insulin resistant people. And in general, as you all have heard, exercise decreases stress, which increases quality of life and sense of well-being. And when you feel great about yourself, well, you're going to feel good about taking care of your diabetes and feel like you can take control. Now, the first myth or weight concern about insulin causing fat storage is something I want to address. So we're going to use this parking lot analogy, which is given from our friends over at FitScript. And basically, all food that you eat turns into glucose, and you can view these glucose molecules as a car. And then you have insulin, which is kind of like a traffic cop. It's going to tell these glucose molecules where to go, where they're needed. And that's in one of three places. The first option is the liver. The liver only has so much space though, which oftentimes is full, so it's kind of like valet parking, super limited. The second option is skeletal muscle mass, which is really great because if you exercise, you can actually change this amount and be able to store more glucose in that muscle mass, which in return means it's not sitting in your bloodstream. And the third and final spot is fat adipose tissue, which is like airport parking. You can always store some glucose there, and it's always there, so you don't have to worry about that. With exercise, you are going to deplete your liver and muscle stores because your body needs those for energy. And when that happens, you are going to need to refuel. You're going to have to put some glucose back in those. So the good thing is that glucose in your body, the insulin's going to take it to your liver and your muscles, and it is not going to go to that fat adipose tissue because it's going to the liver and muscle. But without exercise, your liver and your muscles aren't going to be emptying their glycogen stores, and therefore the only place the glucose can go is to your fat adipose tissue. And therefore, that's how you see weight gain. It's not so much the insulin, it's just inactivity and not having places for your glucose to go. The second is low blood sugars equals more calories. This is true in theory, but you can prevent low blood sugars from happening. The first thing to consider is insulin adjustments if you are insulin dependent. So there's examples of pump and injection modifications for both cardio and strength training. And on top of that, you just need to think about what muscle groups you're using and where you may be injecting your insulin at. If you're going to go run and you put it in your leg, well, your blood sugar is going to drop faster because that muscle is going to absorb better because it's working. And you need to pay attention to the amount of insulin on board. That's super important. And if you notice that you have a lot of low blood sugars, you should probably try to do resistance training before aerobic, because the resistance will spike up your blood sugar, the aerobic will bring it back down. You should ultimately end at a beautiful number. And the last myth is all carbs cause weight gain. All carbs are not created equal. Processed versus non-processed are huge with how your body processes them. Where processed foods, all those things that are in a box, added sugar, white rice, and breads and stuff like that, your body doesn't process them well, and it will reflect on both your weight and your energy levels and how you exercise. So instead of treating with a pack of crackers that's with peanut butter, have raisins or an apple and peanut butter. You just have to remember that that's going to play a huge role in your body composition. And you also have to understand the necessity of carbs for energy. You need carbs to fuel your body so that you will gain the benefits of exercise. So you cannot always think all carbs are bad. Just try to get most of your carb sources from fruit and whole foods. And that's it. That is the quick summary of these 3 weight concerns, and I hope that helps you understand that it's all about how you're living and being healthy and ultimately being active.